All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It looks like I am alone, so I'll just kind of hang out for a couple minutes. We got the post about this out a little bit later than I intended because I fell asleep because I've been tired. Which has me a little worried, if you're reading the news, being a little tired. Not really sure how I got to worry about that. So, just to kind of let you guys know what the plan here was with this whole meet was to just sort of figure out where you guys are at. We see a lot going on our social media channels with teachers trying to figure things out. You guys don't know what's going on. We don't either. So we're all in that boat together, and we're just trying to figure out like what are the best ways to kind of get things rolling, like fun activities that we can do with kids. And Jackie and I are talking about different ideas all the time, and it's really difficult because we'll kind of throw out an idea and then someone will write us back and go, yeah, great ideas, but our kids don't have computers or don't have the software or whatever. And we're trying to just figure out like very non-technical kind of more arts and craftsy stuff that you can do with elements and principles. Those of you guys that have ever seen me do like a live event, I'm a big fan of all that self-discovery personality stuff and helping kids figure themselves out. Because let's face it, high school is just a weird time of life, where all kinds of different messages coming in and kids are figuring out who they are and who they're not. And we're just trying to figure out the best way to sort of meet that need. So, yeah, that's sort of the plan. Only seen a couple people here. Let me see. Can I see who we've got? Yay, Aaron, how's it going? It's good to see you. And I believe that with Facebook Live, we're looking for other solutions. I actually had a Zoom meeting set up. But I don't really know how to do that yet. So I'm actually testing with a much smaller group this evening at 7 for like my my hippie religious stuff. So, well, it sounds like this is just a conversation with you and I, Aaron, because it looks like it's just you and I in the room. So how are things going on your end? What's going on with your school and what's happening with, with your kids and the schedule, and how chaotic is it is what I'm trying to ask, I suppose. One thing I don't like about the YouTube platform for this live stuff is I can't see. I feel like in the Adobe Connect rooms, I used to be able to see when people were, were thinking or I'm sorry, were typing and stuff. And there's not much feedback on this YouTube live thing. I think this is supposed to be a little bit more of a, a little bit more of an ego party, like just shoving stuff out there. Hey, look, this is me. Here's my face. But I'm always uncomfortable with that kind of thing. So we're working on a Zoom platform. So you guys have daily office hours, school to G. All right, got it. Are the kids like required to log in, or is it just sort of they can if they can, because not all the kids have computers, or what's up with that in your area, Aaron? Or anybody else? I don't know how to see. It tells me that there's 5 homeboys and homegirls hanging out, but I can't see who they are. Yeah, we're finding that too, that a lot of kids have computers, but they might be like old and crummy. So even if Adobe gets the software out to them, that 486 machine running Windows 3.1 is just not going to cut it, kiddo. You need more than 2 megs of RAM. They all have iPads. That helps. Yeah, hey, Jack. What's going on, Jackie? We're on spring break. No expectations have been set for next week yet. Good to see you back, Adam. Thanks for popping in. William, thanks for popping in. So, William, are you saying that your daily online things starts on Monday and you guys, like as teachers, are supposed to be doing like live online goodies? Like, how's that working? I guess we're trying to figure out what teachers are having to do and what the limitations are so that we can start helping you guys just create free resources. What can we do? How do we, there's a lot of kids and only a few of us, just like in a real school. So how do we team up and get things going? And Rhonda, welcome. Glad to see you here. Yeah. Have they talked at all, Rhonda, about what's going to happen if a kid don't have good internet, or they don't have a computer? What has there been any word about how you're going to handle that when it all comes back, or is everyone just in frantically, let's try and figure it out? Okay. Can you guys all see each other's comments? I kind of assume that you must be able to. So Rhonda's working remotely, and some kids have internet and some don't. Man, that's harsh. Aaron's using our Spark course. Yeah, we do have a new Spark course. That's all up on YouTube also there. But it looks like you guys can see the comments. Thank you. Yeah, so Spark can also be done on a phone, and a lot of the kids have a phone, and if it is a Windows machine or a computer rather, it can be pretty lightweight and still handle Spark really easily. So Spark is great, but I mean, how many stinking Spark projects can you do, right? Yeah, I can't hold it against them. You're supposed to. All right, Rhonda's gang is supposed to come up with written work. All right, so what I know that back in the day, and Jackie, I don't know if you can look up. I don't want to be typing because I don't know what happens to the camera if I go like into another window. No, it's probably going to be fine, right? So let me just pull up another window really quick. What, on the old site, is it old.brainbuffet.com? I believe that's my old classroom website still, which, yeah, it is, which looks a whole lot like the new websites. But somewhere in there, I think if you go to old.brainbuffet, I can write that in here. Oh, you know what? I can just find the page and give that to you. So, all right. You know what? I was racking my brain trying to remember where this stuff was, and I couldn't do it. But there's something weird about how my brain works, that it's only when I'm like on the spot and under pressure, then everything comes to mind. But if I try to plan it out, it never works. All right, so that link right there, that old Brain Buffet Comtech 1 students, they're all out of order because somehow that list is just sorting things wrong. But all of the ones that say EMP, so it's EMP1 is Elements and Principles Research, then EMP2, Element of Line, they're written out like lesson plans. But the way that I did my lesson plans, this is an awesome teacher cheat, by the way. This is one of my favorite tricks from classroom days. There are some fellow teachers that would call me lazy, which I resent. I like to think of myself as exceedingly efficient. So what that meant for me was, if I was going to write some document up, I wasn't going to write up like one thing for the teacher, for the principal rather, and one thing that I use and another thing that the kids use. I wanted to make one document that all of us used. And that's how these lesson plans on that URL that I just shared are kind of written. So the scenario is the background, because kids always be like, why do we have to learn this? I just wanted to answer that question right up front. And I'm pretty sure that for most years, I had some kind of penalty. Like I talked about it the first day, and I was like, if anyone ever says why we learned this, it's in the scenario. I've already told you that. We did a quiz on it that they had to keep taking until they got 100%. And I said, you already know this. Here's your quiz. You got 100%. You said you knew this. It says watch these videos and follow along. And those videos are gone. Okay. So that's going to be hard to do. But it is pretty much, how did I even do that one? I think I just like winged it in Illustrator. But we will kind of work on this, on redoing this Elements and Principles thing. And I often did it in just on paper. And I really think, as a matter of fact, that we have done our students wrong. I'm guilty of it too. That when I got to digital tools, we just kind of blew off and we never did anything that was, on paper, or I talked about how important sketches were and how important it was to think out loud. And then I never emphasized that. And I can tell you as a designer who works kind of in the real world some, and I do less of that now because I'm almost always doing this online stuff. But even when I sit with my web designer, Dave, it's, we were talking about the front page one day and he's just like, dude, can you just draw me a picture? And, that skill, even if it's just rough sketches, rough kind of, what do they call those, wireframes? It's a really critical skill. So anything that we can do to kind of, to do that would be really cool. Redesign the school website, take your favorite website and redesign it, and just on paper, right? Come up with 3 different ideas, come up with a new brand, come up with a new logo, you do a logo with your initials. And man, I'm wondering if all of these videos now are, it was at the Palm Beach schools was the last place where I had these. And they just had this big push where they wanted us to use their little video server, and I could upload from school. It wasn't blocked like my own site. Oh, doggone it. And they took it all down. I think. I don't know. Or maybe it is a Camtasia thing and they're up there. Can you get to them, Jackie? Try Firefox. Somebody tried that link with Firefox. I wonder if Firefox would make it work with Flash. Because it's some kind of Camtasia thing. I think it was those old Camtasia theaters that I used, and that's why it's goofy. And this is also using Photoshop. So really what we got to do anyway is just convert these back to live ones. Jackie, the link is the one. Here's one. I'm just in the middle between switching between PC and Mac again. I used to do this every 6 months or so, and I've been PC guy for a super long time, and I'm moving back over to the Mac side, mainly because I really like being a minimalist now, and with my new Mac, I can install that software. I don't remember what it's called, Parallels maybe. And it lets me run Mac and Windows on one machine. So one computer, I've got everything. But I'm wondering if these videos, well, it looks like I got to redo them anyway because of this is using software. So the way that we'll probably set this up, and I'll try and get these lesson plans all out next week. Works on Firefox. Excellent. Excellent. Thanks you, Anne. A lot of names I don't know. It's really cool seeing new people in here. I feel like so detached from what's going on with the day-to-day stuff. I know Jackie knows most of you guys, but I've been more and more behind the scenes, where I kind of like it. That's where introverts like to hang out. We like to be behind the curtain where no one can see us. So yeah, I think that our goal will be, I had a really cool project where I told the kids to take a piece of paper. Let me grab a scrap. I don't have a scrap. Hold on one second. Let me grab a scrap piece of paper. So this is one thing that I always did to kind of save paper. Yeah, man, Jack, I have no idea, Jackie, where those videos might be. They are probably on some Pentium 2 computer in a district warehouse, most likely. Oh, my word. How many other teachers, by the way, we've got a lot of teachers here. Do any other teachers have a URL, like their own class website, that we can all kind of, I know Adam's got one. And Adam, I don't know though, like the new game, can outsiders get in and still see stuff? I remember that was like one of the big things that Mike and I chatted about like really early on with the game. But I always have the kids, just fold the paper into 4s like this. That gives us 8 spaces to kind of create things. And so that sort of became my basis, that I need at least 8 ideas for things. I like to say 10 when I present, but it was in my classroom, honestly, only 8. And I told them if they did 10, they got extra credit. But what I would do is, this is the one, I know this one. So I feel like this must be in here somewhere, where I would say I gave them a list of words, and it was like angry, happy, enthusiastic, or excited, something like that. But I gave them the same 8 words, and then we would talk about space, right? So the first one was take a penny. And I stole this from a book, I think, somewhere. But I would say take a penny and put it somewhere in this square section. And I want you to make, and then you're just going to draw a circle around the penny. And that's all that you have to do. So it's going to be the exact same circle in every single square. But make it so that in one of the squares, the penny is sad. Make it in another square where the penny is excited, just by using the location. Oh, and then another thing I would do was I would tell kids to fold the paper, especially when they did the first one on space. I would say fold it unevenly. So fold it like this. And of course the kids would do it. I'm kind of a rigid dude sometimes in my layout stuff. You guys might have noticed that my layouts and my designs are always pretty simple. But I do an uneven one like this and then like this. Right, so now I'm going to have uneven squares, and this is super fun. Because what I wanted to get the kids to do with the elements and principles is I'm thinking about the size and shape of the paper changes things, right? Like if you print something out from Photoshop on a regular sheet of paper like this, you're kind of like, oh, yep, that's my thing. But if you print it out on a 17 by 22 piece of paper, then it's huge. The kids are like, what? Look at my thing. Same image, right? So contrary to what many men would like to think, size matters when it comes to certain things, and design's one of those things. So when we have this larger space, does that larger space have a different feeling than this long, skinny space? Well, what kind of feeling do you get in this long, skinny space? And then what about if you've got a design for something like this, like a side of a bus stop? That's like a weird space to have to design in. So you force kids into that and say, well, that kind of space constraint, what feeling does it give when you've got to do something like tall and skinny like that? Or this one's basically, look at that, it's almost a perfect square, it seems. That has this space alone, the empty space, has a much different feeling than this. Right? And then if I take another sheet of paper and I make them not straight up and down, but like going sideways, then you get all kinds of crazy shapes. And I would just have the kids look at that shape and go, what feeling do you get when you look in that space, that blank space? Right? And then we try the penny trick. So put the penny in the dead center. That feels a lot different than when the penny's over here in the corner. And this corner feels a lot different than when the penny's up here in this corner. It just does. Oh, I just remember what book this came from. It's a little tiny book, and they have plastic covers on them. And it came in it came in a little like gift case at Barnes and Nobles. If I find it, Jackie, help me remember this, to look for that book. There were 4 little design books. One was color, one was like logo ideas and stuff, and one was on the elements and principles, and it was incredible. I stole so many great lesson plans out of that one. So once that's done, then I'm going to do the same thing, right? Next element is line, space, and then line. And I do them in a very specific order, and I talk about how they build up, right? Space is just the space we just talked about. Line is a line. So if that line crosses over itself and pretty neatly, that's not a line anymore. That's a shape. That's the next project. You're not allowed to do that now. So a line, let me grab a pen. So I want to draw what's a frustrated line look like? Well, that's pretty easy. Frustrated line, right? Obviously, frustrated line. What does a sad line look like, right? I want to do a sad line in this space. Well, what's a sad line look at? And I'd always tell the kids, feel free to use what you already learned, right? And if you draw a sad face, right? If you give me this, that's, well, why is that line sad? Well, it's a sad face. Well, that's a picture then. You failed. That's a big F, right? I want to see a sad line. What does a sad line look like? And what I would get with kids, and I said, pay attention also to where it is, right, on the paper. I'd get a lot of things that were kind of, a lot of things like this. And I was like, why does that feel sad? And they'd go, well, it's kind of like trailing off. Like, it's kind of like, if that were breath, it would be going, if that were a noise, it would go, if that were like a conductor's thing, he'd be going like, right? And it's just kind of like, there's something about that line. It's kind of pulling things off. And since I've got it down in that corner, that communicates sort of this isolation, right? So he's in the corner. So maybe he's sad because he's, trying to sort of hide, trying to get away from the center. He just wants to kind of sink into the walls. And, you just get the kids really thinking about that kind of thing. So sometimes the way you draw it, like real energetic, that's a frustrated line. And it's always fun because you do a frustrated line and then you do a super excited line. All right. So I'm going to do a super excited line. All right. That was what came to me to do a super excited line. Well, look, that's different than my frustrated line. Right. It definitely leans. Have you noticed? I just noticed something that my happy feelings end on this upstroke and my sad feelings end with kind of like a downward sort of stroke, a downward direction and an upward direction. That's weird. Like, I didn't consciously do that. And maybe it's over just years of seeing it and studying it. I've thought about it, but you'd be amazed how many kids will draw the exact same things. So then you talk to the kids about how when it comes to making design decisions, you've got to think about what's already in there, right? Whatever's in there. And I don't know if it's just cultural or if it's a global thing, it's a human thing, or is it an American thing? I don't know. But I do know that in my classrooms, we would find this repeating concept a lot, that when a line sinks, when anything's kind of sinking, when anything's getting smaller, it is getting more isolated, it's getting more lonely, it's getting more sad, it's getting more quiet, it's going away, right? When things are getting bigger, when things are moving upward, it's a little bit more happy, a little bit more excited, a little bit more engaged. What is that psychology all about? Like, for me, those are my favorite questions. But with the kids, we just kind of start thinking about it. So if a happy thing is kind of like ending on this upstroke, right? And it's bouncy, right? So I'm just kind of thinking about things. And I'd always have the discussion with kids. Why do you think that came to mind as an excited thing? And it's like, well, maybe it's like somebody bouncing up and down and going, yay. That could be the path that they jumped, right? Like, you think about a little kid getting all excited and hopping and then going, yay, and jumping off the dock or whatever. So that's just line. Next, we go to shape. In shape, I would tell the kids at the beginning, we do the squares, and my paper's going to get all messed up, but I'd always tell them, now I want you to draw a shape, and a shape that is sad. And again, can't be a frown. If you draw one of these kind of shapes, kind of like a, sad face, if you draw this and you say, well, it's a frown, that's an F, right? So F for fix it, kiddo. So, but what is a sad shape? Let me think about a sad shape. So, my brain just went blank. This happens a lot too. A sad shape. All right. I just came up with this. I don't know why, but that's a sad shape, right? So if I was creating a page element, right? If it was a page layout, then I might put a shape like this, and I don't know, maybe it need to be a little more, kind of looks like a bird face, like with a bird beak. Sometimes I draw them and I don't know it's like this subconscious thing. But what is it that makes that sad? And then happy, what's a happy shape look like? Or I think I said excited. I wanted like more energy. All right, and then I just drew that. So that's an excited shape. Not exactly sure why. By the way, when you do this live in class, you might get giggles because occasionally you'll draw something that's not school appropriate. But it's just, kind of came out subconsciously, or you didn't see something, or there's some trend you don't know about. That's always fun to work through with the kiddos. So what's an excited shape look like? And then I would start doing stuff like, how does that shape feel? Is that a happy shape, a sad shape? Is it a questioning shape? Is that a intellectual shape? Is that a smart shape or a dumb shape? And I just ask, and the kids they'd all be going dumb, smart, like all saying different things. And I was just like, this is the problem of design, right? There's no dictionary of shapes and what they mean, right? So you got to sort of figure that out. So space, line, shape, form, right? So that's like a 3D thing. Honestly, I never really did that shape and form. I kind of just let them do their thing. But then after that, it was shading. And normally for shading, I would do the very typical thing where you draw the ball and the ball is casting the shadow. And I'm not a very good artist, but I'm going to try here. Who did a great thing like this is Kevin, Kevin from Art Heroes, Kevin McMahon. He's another Adobe Ed leader. And I'm not very good at this, but so I got light. So I'm doing that kind of ball thing, right? So I got the ball that's supposed to be casting the shadow, and then there's the light spot, and it's like a little bit shaded around that. It's very hard to do with a pen. Then it gets a little bit darker here in the back, but it gets lighter. And there's all this little stuff, and this is what's so fun about design. When you get one of those shapes, I was talking to my friend that's an artist, and you team up with the visual art teacher, the drawing, sketching, painting teacher. And they were talking about how, the paper shines back onto the ball. So it actually gets a little bit brighter. So the darkest spot that you would think was farthest away and totally in the shadow actually gets a little bit brighter because the paper shines back on the bottom of the ball. And then look how a shadow looks. And if you get a real ball, perfect is a cue ball, right? But really any ball, and just put it on the ground and shine a light on it. Tell the kids to do that at home and say, and look at it. What did you not notice? If it's a tennis ball, is any of that greenish yellow color shining on the table? Well, how much? Well, how fast does it fade? How fast do the colors fade? How reflective is the surface? How reflective is the ball? Are you seeing any of the table shining back up on the ball? All of these are those are the questions, right? That's what I think true art, true design is really all about. Well, art is maybe about what you see, and design is trying to force somebody to see something. And with art, I really like that whole idea of, kiddo, what are you seeing? Right? We've got space, we've got line, shape, form, tone, color. Color is super fun. Color wheels, get matching colors, go have them take pictures on their phone, have them collect things and group them in colors that are happy, colors that are sad, colors that are frustrated, and together, right? Not here's a collection of frustrated colors, but here's colors that are frustrated with each other, right? And then you're going to see they're going to bring all this super high contrast stuff. It's so cool to take what's already inherently in the kid, right? That's already there, and go and look, kiddo, this is already like in you. You are an artist. You do get it. You just haven't paid attention to it. Art is just about paying attention to the way that you look at the world and the way that you get these subconscious vibes off of stuff. So I'm trying to keep these down to about 30 minutes. Plus, I've got a different meet that I'm doing in about a half hour. I'm going to grab some quick dinner. But I just wanted to, and it looks like everyone's been real quiet, right? I hope that's not because I'm horribly boring. But we will get these lesson plans up to you guys soon. I'll try and even record them like with this camera. So, we've sort of have a grip on this. Or if I can figure out how to hook, I got one of these things. I never use these, the Wacom tablet, Wacom, whatever. But I would love to kind of have those just so you guys could really see what I'm drawing. Kids can see what I'm doing. And we can try and send those out and just like make a paper-based thing on the elements and principles. And I think that's pretty much it. Jackie and I will kind of work on that. That'll be mainly on my dish. Jackie is super swamped, everybody. So let's all send Jackie a whole bunch of love because she totally is the one keeping the boat floating right now. I'm trying to figure out. I'm back with the maps going, where do we go next? I have no idea what the heck is going on. This is growing out of proportion for me. I'm a little scared. So, we've got a lot of things happening, a lot of things we're super excited about. The new platform that we are using, I am really excited about this one feature that is honestly, I think, going to kind of make or break it. So I'm super excited about that. But we'll get these lesson plans to you guys to send out to the kids. It's a lot of fun. You can check out the lessons that are here. I just did them computer-based because, nerdy. But it can also be done very easily just on paper. And it was originally done on paper, and I just don't know where that version of the lesson plans are. But take it easy, everybody. We'll try and do these fairly consistently. I think we're going to try and shoot for like a Tuesday, Thursday all the time. And just for teachers to get going with all of this. And then we'll also try and do a Zoom room. I just subscribed to this thing called Zoom, where I think all of you guys can get in with your computers and your cameras and even a phone. And we can all, like, people could talk and you can present some a little bit too. I think that would just be super, super fun. So, I'm over time also. I try to keep these 30 minutes. I hope everybody is doing awesome. So, totally just, I love you guys. Like, we're all in this together. And I am really in a place in my life now where I'm just like, how much good can I do in the world is sort of my mission. So I'm only one guy, but we've got a pretty good team. And we're always looking for other teachers to kind of chip in. So if you guys have cool lesson plans that are paper-based things, send those in to help@brainbuffet.com. And we will we'll figure out how to kind of redistribute, and we'll give you guys all the credit for anything that you send in and share. And let's just figure it out together. We're scrambling. I have no freaking idea what to be doing here. So a 365 account. Oh, I think that, like, Office 365. I think we have one of those. I think. Is that what I have, Jackie? I think, because what is that? Skype? Skype is just glitchy for me. Yeah, Office. Skype. I'm guessing that's well, you know what, Chico, write us, help@brainbuffet.com, and we'll try and figure out what's going on. Zoom. Yeah. So I paid for the Zoom thing because I'm doing that for this other, my personal little hobby thing. And Zoom looked like it was going to let 100 people into the room, and I could like see everybody's little camera thing, which I think would be super fun. I'd like to be able to see you guys. So, but anyway, I kind of like to keep these to about a half hour. So I'll never take a whole lot of your time, but I hope to give you guys a lot of resources. We're just trying. We're just as scared. Elliot. Oh, Timothy Elliott. Excellent. Oh, West Virginia. Excellent. Good to see you, my friend. You guys can do Zoom too. Any video publishing beyond screencasts? I'd love to know if if teachers are using any video publishing beyond screencast. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like live stuff, do you mean? As opposed to, oh, are you talking about to handle this time, Adam? Like, are people doing, yeah, what are you guys doing? Because like at our school, they would tell us, well, this was a while ago, but they would tell us we couldn't use YouTube and couldn't use all that stuff. Yeah, live. Yeah, I mean, this is free. And of course, the kids are home, so nothing's blocked. Like, that's one of the best things, right? Is that just nothing's blocked. Google, yeah. And I'll tell you one that I used a lot. It's called whereby.com, and it used to be appear.in. But that one, and I've done that with some of you guys on this call, like with your whole class, but I think it's only like a 2-person thing. Where Zoom, there's a free one, and it looks pretty legit even for free. But you know, for me, I like to support companies, so we just got the lowest subscription. But anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll keep going with you guys. Super stoked that you guys could join us. Feel free to write in, and Jackie, just forward them to me when they're like lesson plans, ideas, or stuff about the live thing, and we'll figure out what to do to make this best for everybody. For, you know, and this is going to just keep evolving and changing anyway. What's going on with schools, what's going on with when kids are going to be back in live. So who knows, right? Like, feel bad for the seniors, right? Like, senior prom's probably off, like all that stuff's probably off. It's going to be kind of harsh. So, and yeah, William, we're posting a lot to YouTube. That's like our biggest focus, just because it's free. We're going to probably do 30% of all of our courses will be free on YouTube, really, from here on out. And I'm meeting with the head honcho of Adobe Education tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, tomorrow. And just trying to figure out how, you know, we've got all these resources. How do we, you know, it's a weird time. How do we help? It's not about money. It's about helping out, right? So anyway, thanks everybody for being here. Sorry, I'm rambling. It's the way I work. I'll talk to you guys soon. Next Tuesday, figure it's probably always going to be 6-ish, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let that be kind of, you know, if you want to pencil it in. But we'll post and try and get it a little bit more organized. Take it easy, everybody. Have a great vacation. And you know what? This weekend, rest. It's been a hard week. Everybody's stressed out. This weekend, just be home with your families. Have some good food. Maybe some fermented fruit beverages, and rest. All right. Peace, everybody. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.